we're talking about men pursuing and a man pursues. I want to make men pursuing, that needs to come back. I don't like this women pursuing men thing. That's just not my thing. I believe and I had a friend of mine, Lateris. We always talked about this. Women present, men pursue. Women present. Oh, I'm presenting. Presented. Women present, men pursue. I think that's men's role. I don't think we have great examples of men pursuing. And so therefore we see it in our society. But I do believe, and I've been taught from my own father, you let a man pursue you. You don't chase no man. And so I feel very strongly about that. I do have ways that I have learned how to be a little bit different, open myself up, whatever. But I really believe in this season. I actually posted something to my page, and I'm getting to this topic. A woman actually made a video, and it was like, dating's demonic. I thought that was really bold. I'm like, dating's demonic. What do you mean by that? And she believes, and this is something that God has kind of put on my spirit, that in the Bible, like, there was no dating. Like, and there wasn't. I mean, we're in different times, but there was no dating. It was like God put on a man's spirit who the woman was. And vice versa, the woman knew. Like, they knew when you get closer to God, you start to know. And when I say get closer to God, I mean you're praying, you're reading your Bible. You know who your woman is. I think men know quickly. I think with some women know quickly as well, depending on how close you are with God. But there's an unction. There is something about that woman that you can't run away from. I don't care how far you run, how long you run, how many women come in your face. There's something about that woman that sticks with you, no matter how many women be in your face. Okay. And a lot of times we think it's looks. It's not about looks. It's the spirit, right? That the looks get you in the door. The spirit keep you there. Y'all heard me correctly. You know what time it is. And so I think that she was saying that when you get closer to God, God will reveal your spouse. And so you don't have to do this whole dating to figure it out, put yourself in the right position, figure it out. That God, the creator of the universe, the God that started the end from the beginning, that same God has a plan for you, a preferred plan for you, a plan for you that is better than a plan you've ever created for yourself. And that God can put on your spirit, put in your vicinity, put on your radar a woman that is for you. And a woman, you can't stop seeing her. You're like, okay. Now, I didn't even try to see her this time. Like, what's going on, guy? Like, or you see where she's from, or you see, like, oh, wait, hold on. This is weird. Is that my wife? Like, what is it? Again, God has a way. If you get closer to him, he has a way of making it very clear who your person is. And so she says the dating thing is a new age concept. It's not a biblical concept. Dating back then, which we have to talk about now, like dating, we call it courting now. And I think it's because it's royal. Courting is royal. I like, you're dating somebody. There's people that you see the stories online. Look at Kingdom Marriages. They meet somebody and they're like, let me fast and pray and see if you my man. And God will either confirm or deny. And you see the stories, God confirmed on both sides, and they got married. And they still married. They wasted no time. And in dating today, we dating for 5 years, 10 years, and we still where we at? We just sleeping together, create, like, no. God is a God of order. And so she was postulating that we're doing a lot of trying to make things happen on our own. And when we get closer to God, we allow God to lead us in all areas, including our spouse, including our future relationship. In fact, arguably, who you decide to be with is one of the most, if not the most important person that you can think of. We are very haphazard with it. We don't bring God into it. We choose, and then we ask God to do what our agenda is. No, God's agenda is different than our agenda. God doesn't want to do what you want to do. God wants to do what he wants to do. Period. And so I've learned in this journey, God has actually called me. I told you this year, a while ago, God had called me and told me to stop dating. And I did. I stopped dating. And I was like, well, God, I don't see my husband. So you want me to stop dating? And he's like, no, no, no. No, no, no. I want you to stop dating. And I want you to get prepared. Instead of you dating different men that aren't the man for you, I want you to spend intentional time with me where I can fix you. I'm like, fix me? I don't need to be fixed. I'm a ball of fun. I cook, I clean, I have degrees, I got platforms. Like, what do you mean? And God was like, no, there's some things you got to work out. And through this process, family, I have been broken in so many different areas. Oh my goodness, God has dealt with me in so many different areas. There was so much wrong with me. There was so much wrong with me. So much wrong with the way I viewed being a wife, viewed being a helpmate, you have seen it in my content. You've seen the direction change. It just became, oh, that's beautiful, baby mama. Beautiful, mama. I had to, because God had to deal with me. God had to sit me down one-on-one and say, no, like that's wrong. No, you're immature. No, that's petty. No, what are you doing? No, you're not being vulnerable. You got to be vulnerable with your man. Who else you gonna be vulnerable with? You over here so afraid of being disappointed. You're not willing to let nobody in, but yet you want a husband. Fix that. You need to do this. You need to do that. You walk with a lot of pride. You got to take that back. You're trying to seek validation from the wrong people. The only person you need to seek validation from is me. You trying to put this out there. Your husband don't want you to put nothing out there. Your husband, man, I'm sending you, want you to be covered up because he want his Disney World to be covered up. He don't want his Disney World to be out there for the world. I need you to, one of the things in the beginning of my journey, Pam knows this, is like, one day it was like, you need to make steak. I've cooked a lot of things. I have not cooked steak. That was one thing I hadn't cooked. And so like God was like, no, learn how to make steak. Learn how to be proficient or know enough about something like that I can make different things. And that was like the beginning. Like I make things for myself. Right now I'm in a different journey in my life, but it was like, okay, just different areas where God was preparing me for my spouse. So as I'm being prepared, he's being prepared. Right? I believe that. So again, God had to deal with me. God had to, like, sometimes we're so focused and fixated on being a wife or being a husband that we're not focusing on the things that God wants to do within us to make us a good wife and make us a good husband. When when you be in charge to break generational curses, when you're being charged to hold a mantle, to be something, God has got to prepare you, because there's certain things like this platform that I'm on right now and other platforms I'm going to be on in the future. I've got to have that fire. I've got to have that ability to be live and do what I do now. But God also has to teach me how to be soft, because I don't want to be hard to my husband. I want to be a pillow. Right. And I'm just being open about this because a lot of us are like, come as, I am who I am. It is what it is. Blah, blah. No, it's not that. I'm allowing God to prepare me for the man. And I know that when I meet him, there's going to be work I got to do with him. Like, I'm not ignorant to that, but God has had to prepare me and to break me from worldly thoughts about what marriage and kingdom and covenant is. And so in that process, he told me to stop dating. And basically, he will give authorization to me for the man that he has for me. That's the only man that will have authorization, is the man he has for me. Ain't nobody else getting front row seats. Ain't nobody else getting like even texting certain, like, no, like when you communicate with me, I'm going to be more short, because until if I don't get God's authorization and you my spouse, I know my man ain't wanting me to have conversations with men or men trying to open up. No, I know that. I'm creating the brick wall now. Like, no, like my man not in my life, but when he does, I'm not gonna have to answer or ask who's Charles? Who Charles? Why Charles calling you? Because I've been in situations like that, family. I have. It's a guy from that. Maybe I haven't. Always gonna be somebody you haven't talked to in a long time. You on this? You talking to somebody you really like now, and that person gonna call you. Of course. God's not. God said, I'm preparing my son, not for you to come in here and bring chaos and confusion. You know, I don't want no ties because that's a trigger for your husband. Your husband is sensitive to that. That's something he don't want to see. He want to think you're as close to the Virgin Mary as possible. And so again, I have had to be fixed. I have had to be refined. And a lot of us resist process, which is why God doesn't bring the man into your life. That's why you got to do it on your own. But what I will say is when God brings it, he ensures it. When you bring it, you ensure it. You got to keep it together. You got to keep this, you got to keep the ball moving. That's what I know. And if I believe that God can make a rock sing, if I believe a God can raise the dead, if I believe a God can open blind eyes, if I believe a God can heal cancer, if I believe a God can create life, if you've seen the journey of life in somebody's belly, how it starts from a seed and becomes a whole human being in a matter of 10 months, if you have seen the miracle of life, you have seen a miracle. And so when I believe that same God can turn a rock into a man if he wanted to. When I'm ready, he'll send him. And when he's ready, he'll send him to me. He'll know where to find me. I'm not hard to find. So again, I believe that the dating aspect of things, do I think dating is demonic? I think dating is a new age concept. I believe that God prepares and then God sends. And I'm going to be prepared. You don't listen, I'm going to be ready. G on O. And yes, it takes a lot of discipline. Yes, you've got to say a lot of times when you're waiting on God, you got to say, okay, you know what? Yes, that guy's talking to me. Yes, that guy's saying this. Yes, that guy is offering me this. Yes, that guy is saying he wanted, he wants a family. He wants this. He wants that. He's all these things. They're not my husband. And I'm choosy. I want my husband to know I don't care who came at me. All I wanted was you. All I needed was you. I was going to wait for you. It's easy to be faithful when you ain't got no options. If you ain't got no options, it's easy. But when you have options, that's when loyalty is tested. Because now I'm saying no, I don't have to say no. Now I'm like, nah, Now I gotta say that's what I have to say. That's what I have to say. So again, I always say that. I always said that when it comes down to being a godly woman and doing things God's way, I've had to really rethink. I've had to really rethink what that looks like. I had to really rethink what that looks like. And that's required me to walk in discipline. That's required me to do things that may not make sense to the world, and that's okay. Okay. So king pursues a boy chases. So intention versus entertainment. That's number one. A man pursues with clarity and purpose. He sees her as a potential partner, and he is intentional about where he wants things to go. A boy chases for validation, attention, or ego. He enjoys the game, but has no real end goal. Now, guys, I'm not trying to be disrespectful with the titles that I'm utilizing here. I'm not trying to make it, be negative or say things in a certain way. But what I do, because I'm not trying to say a little boy or this, that, and third. But I think when a king, I don't know a king that ain't looking for a queen. A real queen. Not somebody that's just out here unintentional. I'm just out here just smashing everybody. There's no rhyme or reason. I don't want to emotionally connect. I don't want to be emotionally vulnerable. I'm just out here. That is not a man that is intentional. That is not like, so it's about intention. And a lot of times, I don't want to define nothing. I don't want to say I want a relationship. I don't want to say I don't want to say I want to get married. I don't want to be locked down. I don't want this. I don't want that. Like those are signs. Those are signs that that person is not in it for the right reason. Like if you can't commit and you struggling with, we good and we all right, but we're this or we're that. Like, I just got out of something, so I'm not trying to. That's somebody, you don't have no real intention in this dating game. You don't have no real intention. So what are we doing? What are we doing? You don't know what you want to be. This whole situationship culture, that's not men or kings creating that. Kings are not creating rules to not be committed. That's not what a king does. Oh, well, technically yesterday I was like single. So yeah, I was out here, but I don't know. No, that's not intentional. That's not kingdom movement. That is not kingdom movement. That is, I'm just wasting your time. If a man cannot say what he does or does not want, he's not ready to be a king. He's not ready. He is not ready to step into the mantle of being a king. Being a king is bigger than just I'm your man. Being a king is I'm taking dominion. I'm taking dominion. I'm intentional. I want you. I want you in my life. All right? It's intentionality. That's what matters. Intentionality is what matters. Men move, kings move with purpose. And just out here wasting your time. Well, I don't know. I like being with I don't know, my last situation, I don't know. That's not, you're not a king. You're not a king. Don't call yourself a king. Please don't. Save the masses, hold the press. The kings that I know, they want to know what it is. Like, hey, I want you. I could see myself being with you. I could see there's wife qualities in you. I could see X, Y, and Z. Let's make it happen. When you got to struggle and you don't know what you want, you're not ready to be a king. And that's okay. Because there's a lot of women that aren't ready to be a queen. It's a reality. Hey guys, thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you guys. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, y'all. Let's not just be every once in a while. Let's become family, okay? Friends that are family. Okay, join my family today.